They have no talent.
Hello, welcome back to our favorite pastime here on the podcast, which is watching Jerry Lewis clips. Joe Ramone here with Ryan Lancello.
Yes, we are back.
And at the end of that last episode, I think I said to you, I don't know how much is left. I don't think there's anything out there. I think we've covered, we've scaled Mount Jerry. We're not going to have anything else. And man, almost like
it's like the peak is hidden in the clouds.
It's like hours after we put that out, people started sending me stuff, and I was like, oh, we haven't even really scratched the surface yet. And there's different levels of it. And a few people said to me, you guys should really look into the telethon stuff, because this is something Jerry Lewis did. I did some research, Ryan, this time around, and
oh yeah, we got a little slam for that, even though wasn't the purpose of this whatsoever.
He raised, during his entire tenure, $2 billion for muscular dystrophy. So
that's wild, man.
It is that money does not get donated otherwise. And
look, I want to address something here too, real quick. It's like I saw some people giving a shit for like, oh, it's almost like, what have you done? You get to attack. We're not attacking Jerry Lewis here. We're laughing at him. We're like how he's like. I'm personally like the guy. I love him.
Yeah. I said in that first episode that I was like, I'm not really a big Jerry Lewis fan. I have done a complete 180 in every possible way.
Could you not be? He's hilarious.
And I then, a few people sent suggestions in, and I had seen The Bellboy years ago, but I rewatched it, and it's so much fun. It's just a great comedy. It's not super structured. It's a gag movie,
Right.
He is his timing, the way when he was on.
His best stuff is very good.
Yeah. And not only that, he really understood framing and structuring comedy scenes,
using the camera and the the medium of film to advance the comedy.
Yeah, and you can see too. There's a few people suggested maybe we'll check it out for the next movie catch up. The documentary on him, Method to the Madness, came out in 2011, I believe.
Okay,
it might be worth checking out. Just kind of
sure.
So this is the telethon special this time around. We're doing all clips that relate directly to the Jerry Lewis MDA telethons in various incarnations and years. It went through restructurings in the format. They shortened it at times, and it definitely evolved. And I see here the running time of the program from 1966 to 2010 was 1,290 minutes. So it was the entire weekend. And then you had the local affiliates would do their part, and that way Jerry would take a break. So there was a lot.
Right.
But the thing that started all of this was, and I sent you a few screenshots of Jerry getting pissed at Phil Donahue. And apparently...
Oh, was that the pictures you sent me where he's scowling?
It's amazing. Okay. It's amazing. And then I found this group. There was a rogue group who went against Jerry. They had been kids, and they were poster children for this MDA telethon, and when they grew up and got a bit older, they classified themselves as Jerry's Orphans. Now listen, Jerry did a couple odd things at around the time leading into that. One of the things he did was he wrote an essay that was titled "If I Had Muscular Dystrophy." And it's very much like the OJ book, the If I Did It, where he imagines what life would be like, and he just paints a terrible picture of what life with MD must be like.
But is that so bad? I mean, I didn't read it, so
let's start off with a clip of Jerry talking to a reporter about this and defending his choice of words.
And they are now turning on you and calling themselves Jerry's Orphans. Forget the issues. Personally, what does that do to you?
Why didn't they call us anything when we bought them the wheelchairs, Chris? Why wasn't I a terrible man when we bought them the wheelchairs that are getting them around?
Lewis wrote about cripples and said if he had MD, he'd have to learn how to be half a person. You called them half a person. You've talked about the indignity of being carried. You've talked about the steel imprisonment.
I wrote that in a piece,
of the wheelchair.
Right.
All of that you wrote. Is that the way you really feel about it?
They can't run with me down the hall, can they? In truth, aren't they given half? Haven't they been left with half? If there's a degree of measurement, are they whole?
So, like, has it just been forever that people will look for anything to get offended and pissed off over? Also, that's a young Chris Wallace there, scumbag. Yeah. Still trash. But, like, really? Okay, maybe it wasn't artful or it wasn't, the best way to put it, the most sensitive way to put it. But that's writing, and it's what he wrote. I mean, I don't even say that I agree with it or whatever, but, like, he's not saying, look at these goofy little bastards.
No,
like...
But I think the 90s is when the terminology really started to shift. So I think it was in response to that. He used it. We've heard it. And even until 2007, I played some stuff where he kept saying the crippled. So it's just a weird that no one just sat him down and was like, don't refer to them as this. You could... Again, I understand words. People are going to take issue.
I'm not saying he's being the most artful or whatever, but it's just so stupid. He has a right to be pissed there. I'd be annoyed too. He's helping these people, and they're getting pissed over words.
So this is the tip again. The tip of the Jerry Mountain here.
I'm sure people will love to hear me say that.
He then goes on Phil Donahue. Have you ever seen Phil Donahue show? I'm not that familiar with it.
Yeah, I
mean, only in my research, but
he came back too for a little while, and it totally flopped. I think it was on MSNBC for a while.
This is 1981, and he would have a discussion with a guest in front of an audience, then would turn it over to the audience. But this is same issue. Jerry is confronted with this idea that there are now maybe like adults that were his kids that take some issue with how he's using them, and fortunately Jerry does have a peaceful solution.
They don't have the position that my kids have on Labor Day. They're very special, very meaningful to the hearts and minds of everyone in this country, and they're making waves. Because they are disabled doesn't make them any less devious, my friend. And because you're disabled, that has nothing to do with morality, principle, or integrity. I defy them to battle me one-on-one, and because they're in a wheelchair doesn't change anything. Right. I'll turn from the love and affection and my need to help a crippled child right to a hostile attack on someone else disabled because they're using that rather than recognizing they're in trouble and someone cared.
Dude, Jerry rules.
I'll pull him from the fucking wheelchair. And I'll say, walk, you lazy sack of shit, and I'll throw him down the stairs and say...
Sure. It sounds like that's what he's saying, but that's not what he's saying.
A hostile attack on someone who's disabled.
Oh, he's totally right. Just because you have some physical ailment doesn't make you morally better than anyone.
And
really, what was he like? What was their claim? He was exploiting them for his own gain or something?
There was that argument, and then there was the argument from other disabled groups that, well, why aren't we getting a telethon? Why is this singled out? And why?
For Christ's sake!
I will say he was
never try anything, never help anyone. This is the rule. This is what you learn from this. You will always lose. Never try. Never be nice.
I was trying to look into where did this start? Why was he so passionate specifically about MD? And the rumor is, there's nothing to back it up, but the rumor that I read was he and his first wife tried to adopt a little girl, and they would not allow him to because she had MD and the life expectancy. That's apparently what began him on this quest. To his credit, he never publicly revealed that. He never talked about it. He just said, it's important to me, and that was it.
And he gets pilloried for it.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And by the way, if you're listening to this on one of your podcast apps, all the stuff that Ryan and I... There's a couple audio I'm throwing in here, but this is all going to be video. So check us out, youtube.com/almostcultclassics. I think that's it. Or just find Almost Cult Classics, the podcast on YouTube, because I'm going to play these video clips so you can see them. Sure. And this one is very visual. Jerry's not talking a lot, but I just want you to look at his face as Phil Donahue is talking.
Okay.
I am, however, suggesting that maybe what we've got in terms of the charity enterprise and structure in this country is a competitive, rancor-filled, inefficient system that does not speak equitably to the various difficulties that afflict not only young people, but older people as well. And to make it worse, we've got a bunch of greedy bottom-line companies coming in here, and their motive may have more to do with selling merchandise than with helping the kids. And if product A decides to go on your telethon, then their competitor has to find something to do that's good, and the result is a lot of distraction and a lot of wheel spinning.
You're generalizing. Whack!
That posture he has with the cigarette and like, it's so I have never seen a defensive posture like that.
He's exuding just this like.
But seriously, Donahue, look, Donahue's got a show, so he's got to be combative and all that.
Yeah,
and he kind of pioneered that format. By
the
way,
he did for sure. The daytime,
sure.
You know, it seems like there's a lot of like housewives in the audience, and they're ready to hate him.
But once again, why is any of this Jerry's problem?
Again, I think Jerry is correct. I think he comes off in a very combatant way, but I think
But it's one of those things. It's like almost like a scale problem. Mm-hmm. Like, say the first year he starts the charity, wine and roses, everyone's happy, raise some money for the little kids. Then as the years go on, it gets bigger and bigger. Corporate sponsorship wants to come in. Well, okay, that's more money for the kids. Oh, but now other people have a problem with that. And is it too mainstream? Is it selling out? Is Procter and Gamble like trying to rehab their like whatever? It's like it's that scaling up thing. The bigger you get, it's more money, more problems.
Yeah.
And Jerry's over here like, I want to help the kids. Like, I mean, I don't know. Does he have an ulterior motive? Who can? What does the shadow say? Who can see into the hearts of men?
The shadow knows.
Who knows?
So here. You saw that energy, that tension building up here.
Dude, I'll be doing this forever.
Here comes the verbal response.
Nice.
At this point.
Without all this pompous, self-righteous, my kids, put your dimes and pennies in here.
There's nothing pompous or self-righteous about it. It's real, and it's caring, and it's feeling.
It'd be so much nicer, though, if they just wrote the
Wait,
check.
are we here to supply Phil Donahue with comfort? Would that make you more comfortable if we do it your way?
I think it might make the system more efficient.
The system's terrific. I raised $400 million my way.
Okay, but how much of that money might have been more properly and more intelligently directed to other...
Intelligence? This is not... I'm not looking for a Nobel Peace Prize. I'm looking to help people.
Dude, like, seriously, hold on a second. This man is doing... It's MS, right?
Yeah. No, MD.
He's doing... MD. Oh, muscular dystrophy. Sure,
yeah.
Sure. He's raising money for children with muscular dystrophy. I don't know if I said that right. He's being attacked.
Listen.
What? Like,
right,
what the fuck?
To play devil's advocate here, I've been
watching
a ton of these fucking telethon clips. There was a bit too much pomp to the whole thing. It was a bit
tell me how.
much.
How?
Just the big band and look.
But he's putting on a show. It's not, hey, it's a whole weekend long of me going, hey, give me your money.
Phil was like, why can't they just why don't the companies just write a check?
Right.
What Jerry was doing, and maybe he failed to articulate it in this way, there's no fucking way that McDonald's and all these big corporations were going to cut a check and just send it off.
Anonymously.
What he did with the telethon was, you know what? I'm going to make it a big Tonight Show, variety show spectacle.
Sure.
And that way these companies will turn up to donate money. They don't donate that money without, because I've seen the clips. They would come on. There was the big, cartoonish check. That was
it makes them look good,
exactly.
But the money still changes hands.
It does.
So is it a little distasteful? Yes, dude. You're not going to find a more anti-corporate person than me. Trust me. But like the money is especially here. From all accounts, it went to the cause.
It did. We saw him in the last episode really get pissed about.
I don't think the organization was that big. It wasn't like your modern day charity.
That's what I came to take away from it. Is Jerry was basically the whole reason it had to be this big Vegas style variety show. Is that was the only way some of these big corporations were going to cut checks that big, because they could go on television, they could hang with Jerry and Frank Sinatra, and
there's also this other thing too. I was talking to you about this when over the weekend we were hanging out. I was talking about this because I remember my mom telling me she did this. They would do in town to town, put on carnivals.
Yeah.
And the carnivals would raise money, and money would get donated. This was an event.
Yeah.
It was a thing everyone got involved in, and it was a good cause. Like, okay, so what? Like, it's a spectacle. It's a fucking TV program. I'm sorry. It's not supposed to be dry and a phone bank and Kramer's in the back and Jerry's grandmom's calling, clearing it. Granetta?
Forget about Jerry. It's not going to happen.
You know, it had to have something to get people to tune in and give your money.
Back to Phil Donahue, though. He now asked the audience to address the issue.
Here we go.
And a woman stands up, and she has some issues with the telethon. And again,
I can't.
I want you to pay close attention to Jerry's face as she speaks, along with his response.
I feel that the entertainers involved have a lot more money than I do. Why don't they put up some of that money, and anybody else that wants to, and let's just get these things off the air. I think they're a big show for all the entertainers to come out, hug each other, kiss, hi, yeah, I love you, man, let's get on all these charities. I just can't stand watching that. I never get to turn it on.
I've got to get you an autographed photograph of Eva Braun. I'm sure you'll enjoy.
Did you hear Howard Stern in the audience there? Robin, I invented Jerry Lewis, Robin. I was screaming from my mother. I said, lady, as he was walking by in the 50s, and he stole the act, Robin.
I mean, obviously, it was a total non sequitur. It really doesn't make sense. I don't know what Eva Braun has to really do with that, but, like...
He's calling the woman a Nazi.
Well, it's like, look, I can understand. It is revolting when it looks like a bunch of celebrities are out patting each other on the back, not really doing anything. I get it. But at the same time, like, I can't get over there's a weird cognitive dissonance here of this guy's getting attacked for raising money for children with an affliction. The Donahue clips, it's that old TV camera. Like, you can't help but look sweaty.
Yeah.
You know, he's under those hot studio lights, but he looks sweaty.
Smoking cigarettes.
He's chiefing cigarettes. He's a little older, so he's got the folds on his skin. He's got the glasses. Awful.
I will turn to a hostile attack on little people, on dwarfs, on anyone.
Could you imagine him? Some grown person with muscular dystrophy wheels up to him like, I have a problem with this, and he's tearing into some guy in a wheelchair. I owe you nothing. I owe you nothing.
You have half of body strength, which means I'll fight you with one arm. Well, speaking of Howard Stern, I'm doing this fucking research, and I just...
Oh, no.
Howard does not care for Jerry Lewis.
What a shock.
And this one caller calls up and is explaining, I guess Jerry was doing a live show in New York. This particular fan went, or it was at Friars Club something, and saw the great Richard Belzer with Jerry Lewis, and
Sure.
Belzer, a frequent guest on Howard Stern. He goes up to tell Belzer he was good on Howard Stern, and this fan then calls in and is telling Howard this is audio, about the experience.
So what do you say about me?
Well, I had heard Belzer on your show that morning, and I said, I heard you on the radio show today, and, it was great. And Jerry said, what radio show did you do? And Belzer said, I did the Howard Stern show. And Jerry just kind of looked at him and said, we have a word for Howard in Yiddish.
Well.
And then he went, Schmendrick.
Yeah. And what are you, Jerry, you retard?
That's a joke, Howard. Come on. Ha, 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 ha.
Ha, ha, Schmendrick.
Imblick.
Half the audience, they just...
And how are you supposed to know where you stand with... I mean, this is a guy who acted like a retard for his entire career and made fun of, like, retards.
I mean, look, old Howard was funny because he'd attach just everyone.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. There was no grace given.
But dude, we've seen all these clips of Jerry, so I could perfectly see that. We have a name for people like Howard in Yiddish, Schmendrick.
Yeah, which is it's so anodyne. It's not even that offensive.
But this caller then tells Howard that he attended Jerry's show, and at some point during Jerry's show, a young fan came up and wanted to do an impersonation of Jerry to his face, and it goes horribly wrong. By some miracle, someone had a camcorder in this theater, and I found the fucking... And this isn't me with my special...
I was going to say, this better be real.
I found the fucking clip of what happens here. It's someone had a 90s
Beautiful.
camcorder. Here we go, of Jerry, what happened.
Walk-ons. No, we don't make a joke about that song. You just had a train wreck, my son. Try Star Search.
Oh, you mean?
Oh, that was mean. Did you get the gist of what
What is
happened
walk
there?
on?
So Walk On was the song he would sing at the closing of the telethon. A very emotional song, which, again, here's where I'm going to come on the side. Like, you're a comedian. Yeah.
Jerry he did not have a sense of humor.
Not about this.
About himself.
Not about himself or the telethon.
No, he really didn't.
But he threatened to kill Joan Rivers because she made a joke about it. He did not. And it's like, I'm sorry, Jerry. It's the one thing, if you're a comedian, we say it all the time, nothing's off limits. And I don't...
Including yourself.
Including yourself and your organization. So, dude, that is just like, no. You go sit down. Like,
not only that,
and then Star Search.
He got 2 words out. It sounded pretty good.
It was a damn near pitch
Walk
perfect.
On.
Yeah. He said, we don't make fun of that song. And then he insults Star Search, which his fucking telethon announcer hosted.
Yeah.
No, Jerry, I did not care for that.
Let's get into the telethon stuff, though.
Oh, we'll be.
Jerry, I don't know if he just... I can't even explain what's going on. There were always... Because it's such a long amount of hours, it's live, there was going to be fuck-ups. And so here's some issues with cue cards and Jerry.
Alpha Phi Omega, Chi Pi Phi Flutminate. What's that? Chi Phi. Oh, what's the first one? Huh? Chi. It's CHI. Is that Chi? CHI is Chai. What are you, Mexican? My name is Harry.
What? He's off the cuff. He says some of the dumbest shit,
and it's
nonsensical crap.
I've come to realize that whenever he's insulting someone, he just picks a random nationality and throws it. Seriously, it's like if someone messes up, like, what are you, a fucking Portuguese? Like, it's just
right. Dude, I'm telling you, man. I remember, and I mean, you know, when did he do it? Labor Day.
Labor Day.
It was.
1952 to 2010.
It had that stale feeling. Like, I remember my grandmom used to watch Lawrence Welk, and it had that same feeling of like, I'm like, what is this? And also, it was Labor Day weekend, so I knew summer was ending. Right. So I was like, oh, the telethons when I'm like, summer, I gotta go back to school.
Jerry marked the beginning of the school year. Yeah.
Yeah. It did not have a good connotation to me as a kid.
I used to get ready. Had to leave for school in the morning after watching Dexter's Lab. So to this day, when I hear the end credits song of Dexter's Lab, I get a little like, oh,
Pavlovian response.
Oh, God.
Just imagine being a kid, like you're 6, 7 years old, summer's ending. It's like, and now here's I don't know, Foster Brooks, and it's like, it's like, no, well, you don't care as a kid.
Here we have some more cue card issues with Jerry.
Okay, great.
There's 130 of them, which makes a lot of quartets. And whoever wrote this will be in Florsheim on Monday. We'll have a meeting in the next hour break, please. I want to find out what Yugoslavian fruitcake wrote this.
Dude, by the way, this isn't like I've gotten the blooper reel that never aired. This aired on television.
This aired. Yugoslavian fruitcake. That's pretty. I'm gonna start calling you that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like he just picked. Like,
I like that Jerry though. That he looks stocky.
Yeah,
his head looks like a square.
I sent you a photo of him side by side. He looks exactly like my grandfather when he was like this.
Yes,
it's
did.
Scary.
He did. You're right.
All right, another cue card issue.
I want you to meet a young man right now from the movie Princess Bridge. No, Princess Bride. Wait, come here for a second. Come here for a second. Come here. If you put Princess here and you put Bride there, see? It's so tight. No, does that look like a G in Jewish or not? I knew I'd win that one.
I'm going to bring them on and belittle them in front of a national television audience.
How about that guy too?
Yeah.
Stash,
mullet, t-shirt.
T-shirt tucked into the ash and wash.
He knew what he was doing by saying, come here. You American people have to see what I'm dealing with, and this is who I'm talking to.
Look, and like you can see it here, it's like you can understand why he had such a reputation as a jerk. Like he belittles people, and like it's fun. Obviously, it's funny to me and you, but it's not funny. Like he's just belittling someone.
Exactly. There's no joke there. It's just him being like, come here.
Yeah.
Similar situation. This is Same thing happened. He brought, I cut out the part, I think, where she actually comes on, but a woman came on. And this is right after she left, after he brought her on and said, it's your fault, you caused an issue. This is his response right after that.
I wouldn't start up with that animal, I'll tell you. I'd like to see her on a platter with a banana in her mouth. An apple.
Apple, yeah, you idiot.
Man, did he botch that one.
It's on his face, too. He lost the crowd on it.
Knowing how he spoke when he wasn't around, I think he was probably saying, like, with a big cock in her mouth or something. I think that's where he was going.
I'd like to see her on a platter with a...
Need a moment? Chew it over with Twix.
And his brain went, oh, I can't say that, so banana?
Hey, look, give me that one again if you can. Because he does, you could see it, you could see the gears turning.
I wouldn't start up with that animal, I'll tell you. I'd like to see her on a platter with a banana in her mouth. An apple.
All right, this is another instance. Jerry, I think it's his assistant director or one of the directors of the program.
Kills me.
He's up in the booth, and he throws it back to Jerry, and Jerry compliments the man for doing such a good job.
Or call 1-800-FIGHT-MD.
That's great, Miguel. That was terrific. Miguel is one of our associate directors behind there. Isn't that wonderful how good Miguel is speaking since he got his green card?
That's fine. That's ball busted.
Not everyone has to be commented on, Jerry.
Yeah.
It really was his sense
I
of humor.
am a fan. The hacky ethnic humor, like the vaudeville, everyone make fun of every ethnicity. Like, I like that shit. It's like literally not funny.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it funny. It's so hack.
Are you familiar with the company JVC? Suppliers of video cameras, videotapes.
Yeah, yes.
So they were one of the donors for one of the years on the telethon. Jerry evidently was not happy with either the amount that they sent or whatever equipment they sent. He says it was one videotape, which I think he's just exaggerating, but I don't think he was happy with them.
But we do appreciate JVC of America. There ain't an American in the company. They're all Japanese, this JVC, that sent us the one VHS tape. JVC of America.
Brace yourself, Ryan. You know what's coming.
So I want to thank you all for the beautiful tape you sent that we can do this show on.
The quick dissolve there, did you see it?
Yeah, when he's like, he couldn't
help himself.
He's not being funny there. That face he makes at the end. No, he's like, I'm being a dick.
Yeah, he knows he is too.
His Japanese is
so
hack.
bad.
It's like, it's just so hack, man. I mean, it's fantastic, obviously, but.
And by the way, anytime we seem to play a Jerry Lewis doing the Japanese character thing, I don't want people to think that we're like, how dare he, this is insensitive. I've said it last time. It offends me as someone that likes comedy.
But I can tell you with Jerry, he saw one example way back of some that like, the Japanese, and like he was like, that's it for the rest of his life. That was a Japanese person.
We got to get it in a movie.
To me, it's more you do like the samurai,
right?
Like the deep voice, maybe that's the one that stuck with me. Like
that's what most people go towards, though.
I think there was a stereotype though, maybe post-war.
Well, I said that when we watched him in the movie scene. It's like I said I think this is probably on the most like offensive portrayal of a Japanese person ever put to film, which surpasses like the Bugs Bunny cartoons and the Gilligan's Island, where
was Mickey Rooney playing Japanese?
Mickey Rooney in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
He was like Mr. Takimori.
And the other thing we didn't talk about, I think not only is it, I think he's like in some kind of brown face for it too. He's not even, his eyes are taped.
Who's that?
Lewis, and when he's doing the character.
Oh yeah, more than likely, yeah.
But as long when they did these telethons, you know, it was all weekend and. It seemed like they would get confused as to what hour they hit, what hour they were. And here, Jerry's trying to figure that out, where they're at, time zones come up.
How many time zones have we? No, 4. There's Pacific, Central, Mountain, and Eastern. And then there's Cuban, which you don't even have anything to do with because their clock is set back during the storm season. That's why no one's ever on time in that lousy place. You go there and people don't meet you.
It's on the corners of his mouth as if that shithole island.
That's why no one's ever on time in that lousy place. You go there and
Need a moment.
Yeah, he wants to make some.
So many times you can tell it's like he.
But he's not. He has a look. Like you said, these are marathon shows.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
it's not like you get when we do this. If we do like more than like 2-3 hours, you get punchy, you get weird.
Yeah.
He was probably trying to make a communist joke. Like the clocks don't run right because Stalin won't let them, or they had to owe an hour. You know what I mean? Like, but he couldn't get there.
We're going in kind of like a chronological order. There came a point in the telethon when that ability to stop himself went away, and some nice things came out that he didn't even attempt to disguise. So that look forward to that.
Okay. Hey, did he? Like, I don't think he was a drunk, but did he drink? He wasn't like a teetotaler, right?
I don't
He
think
would
so.
He would have a scotch.
I don't think so. He, shout out to Joe DeRosa and Pat Walsh. I was on their podcast. We'll see you in hell. Ryan's annoyed I didn't bring him up. But we talked about Jerry Lewis, and Joe introduced me to the Dick Cavett clip where he's talking about the art.
I gotta watch that.
You have to, dude. They cut back to him, and he's got the full glass in his mouth after just talking about the art of comedy and all this stuff. He's got the entire. You've seen the photos of him doing it. It's
yes. Is that not funny? He knew when to cut. It was cutting and to come back. That's very artful.
What's not funny is what I'm about to play you. This is him and Ed doing a little. As I said, Ed was would take a little break from Johnny, which I'm sure Johnny just loved, and the two of them are I assume they're attempting to riff here, maybe Ed's just a few martinis deep. I don't know what it is, but here we go.
We're into our 4th hour, 5th hour. Which hour? 5th hour. What time is it?
4th hour.
No, 4th hour. We start at 6, it's 9:30.
That's right, it's 9:30, so it's the 4th hour.
No, how can it be 4th hour? It's only 3.5 hours, right?
Right.
We ain't been near 4 yet.
At the end of this, what will it be?
4th hour.
You got it.
Yeah, they're doing like a who's on first, I think.
Well, it didn't stop there.
We were on 6 hours now.
That's right. And 15 minutes.
No,
6.5 hours. We're on our 7th hour.
No, look, we started at 6 o'clock.
Right. And at 12 o'clock.
Makes it 6 hours.
6 hours. So now we're in our 7th hour.
No, you're in your...
In a half hour, we'll start our 8th hour.
I think that's a bit, man.
We went on 6 o'clock. It's 11:30.
Right.
Ain't that the 5.5th hour?
We're in our 6th hour.
You're just looking to be ornery, that's all.
No.
Yeah.
All right. What does it say on your watch?
It's 11:30.
That's right. We're in our 6th hour.
I don't know why I bother with him. I ain't won one of these in years with him.
Yeah, they're running a dumb bit.
Maybe they didn't rehearse.
Ed looks a little unamused. I will say that.
I don't know if they just didn't rehearse or what the deal is, but there's a lot of times where Ed is expecting, or one of them is, I think Ed is expecting he'll say something and Jerry will pick up the ball. But it's like,
and I guarantee you, Jerry was probably like, "Look, Ed, just run with what I'm doing."
Right, and he wasn't.
I'll save you.
He just keeps
Jerry,
barreling. That's a half hour. Look at your watch. It's like,
I bet you Jerry's the kind of prick too that would be like bury you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like be like, I don't like what you're doing, so now I'm gonna make the whole thing not funny.
Right. We just saw them maybe not play off each other that well, so I said, let me.
I love this old shit, man.
Let me find a clip where they do play off each other well, and it just so happens that they sing a little ditty, and. If it's possible, Ryan, I'd like to get your blessing to use this as our theme song going forward.
Okay.
You've been here each time I need you, through thick and through thin.
My joy and my greatest pleasure is working so near you.
Don't let Johnny hear you.
You look younger each time I see you. that's how you'll always stay.
You're one of my favorite fellas. You're swell and you're nifty and nice.
Real energetic.
Ed could not look stiffer.
No.
He's
And
got
they're
the
both
mo-
reading off cue cards. You could see they're not even
Yup.
looking at each other.
You know what's funny too? It's like there was always this thing where for so long you watched what your parents watched.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of in my age group, maybe a little at Gen X a little earlier, it started to fall apart a little bit. But it's like this is that kind of shit where it's so cornball and like, you know, I would like to say you don't see it anymore, but quite frankly, it's still cornball garbage, just in another way when they do this shit. Like, it's not that.
Yeah.
Like, that is so throwback.
It is.
To have, like, those two dinosaurs
They're singing a
dance
song
around
from it's called Bosom Buddies, and I think it's from Auntie Mame, I think is the musical. So you and I were talking yesterday, you saw a YouTube clip. I was actually, if you not seen that, I would have included it. But it was Johnny Carson's, is it 10th anniversary on the air?
Yeah, and it's funny because Jerry does mention it, but the set, it looks like a lawn.
Mm-hmm.
Like a front lawn almost. And it's like him, it's fucking Jack Benny, it's George Burns. I meant to look it up. It's another guy who I know who it is. It escapes me, but I was just like, God damn, like all of them there. Like,
and Johnny takes Jerry saying, it's so nice to see all of you here. I don't get to see you often. And Johnny, I never get to see you. And Johnny just goes, well, maybe no one likes you. And, you know, everyone laughs. But I was telling you, I said, no, I legitimately think Johnny didn't like him because I heard Dick Cavett tell a story where Jerry went to visit Stan Laurel in the hospital. And Dick Cavett was telling Johnny, like, oh, yeah, I heard Jerry went to see Stan Laurel.
Then I said, and, you know, Jerry Lewis has gone and visited him in the hospital, too. And Johnny said, yeah, that must be a great lift for somebody who's not feeling well, having that asshole come visit you.
And, you know, he came in like, the shtick is going to cheer him up.
Yeah. Oh, you got Stan, you got what's in this class?
Yeah.
Like,
emaciated, dying Stan
it's
Laurel.
like that joke. It's the Family Guy joke with the Robin Williams and the is it the cancer kids? It's like, oh, look at this bedpan, Peter Pan, bedpan. Off we go to Neverland. Yes, and the kid's like, sir, please stop. So, I've been watching hours of Jerry, like I said.
You're psychotic.
The only time
the dedication on this, ladies and gentlemen,
I've been enjoying it.
But the dedication you get from a man like Joe Ramone, it's world class.
The only
product,
time
the work he puts in to give you a good product.
I have ever seen Jerry shrink and not be in control of the room is when Johnny Carson was there.
Yeah, dude, it's
something
amazing.
about Johnny just intimidated him.
He was the king, man.
So
it's crazy.
I got a 2-part clip here. This is
Nice.
Johnny coming out on the telethon that year.
Oh, how are you? Why don't you grow up? 52 years old, and you're going, boy! Grown man. Where have you been for 2 days?
I've been off.
I wanted to top, Frank came on last year, and he came on with Dean, and it was a very emotional, and, certainly about time, and brought you and Dean together. I wanted to top that this year and bring Ike and Tina Turner back together. But I lost them earlier tonight, and I thought it would have been a very big emotional type of thing. And Alan and Rossi were next, and then Greg Allman and Cher turned me down. So I came to bring Ed and me back together.
You're right. Nobody shuts up.
He shuts him up, and he doesn't let him get a fucking word in. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever see the PBS thing? I think it's American Classics. I forget what the fuck it's called, American Legends or something, but it's all about Johnny. Dude, you get emotional watching it. The guy was just too fucking good.
He's
man.
quick, and he in a live setting like that, he thrived. And here is this is even better. This is the same year, a little bit after that exchange.
No, I really, the last couple of years I have not been able to be with you because it was on my bowling night. Why don't you let your hair turn gray like mine? Quit using that Shinola. You'd look so much... I mean, you got grandkids that are 42.
You can tell he's relishing in that. Like, he's just like, I'm gonna
Johnny?
I'm gonna have some fun with you.
Because he probably, in a sense, he doesn't want to be there. He knows if he doesn't go, it looks bad. But if he goes, it's like, holy shit, Johnny Carson's here.
Right.
So good. What a catbird
And
scene
I just
did they
love the
have.
whole time.
Yeah. That rules. And Jerry over laughing at everything.
Here's a fun clip. This is one of the telethons where Jerry...
Old Hollywood is the best,
It
man.
rules. Jerry makes a bid for a new donor to the MDA Telethon.
No, you can put the cards away. I don't really know if this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, let's get serious for a minute, folks.
On the nose. But do you know that last year there was about $80 billion spent in this country for coke, heroin, marijuana, maybe an equal amount spent on alcohol, cigarettes? It's scary. Every day in the port of Miami, they're picking up $1 billion worth of cocaine. If I can get a child out of a wheelchair, I don't care where I get the money.
If you're a hooker, if you're a pimp, if you're a murderer in a crack den, I don't give a shit. Send the check to Jerry Lewis at the MDA Telethon.
He's got a point. You know what? I'll give you. It's kind of not the same, but remember Ron Paul?
Yeah.
When Ron Paul was running for president a few times, he'd get he was getting donations from, like, I don't know, KKK or white nationalist groups or whatever. And, obviously they're going to attack him for it. So he would get asked, they'd be like, Ron, how do you feel about taking this money? He's like, well, it's better I have it than they do.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a logic to that. Like, they don't have it anymore. I do. And I don't believe in them. So what the fuck? And it's not like Jerry's turning it around and like, we're gonna take that Coke money and we're gonna flip it and we're gonna buy more Coke. And
If you wish, just send the Coke directly in a baggie. We'll convert it to money. I'll sell it on the street here in Vegas, and then I'll put the money in myself.
He's taking raw product.
Yeah.
What spurred him to even say that? Did someone say you're getting dirty money? Was it mob money?
Watch the
or
clip
some
again.
shit?
Like in the beginning, he's like, "No, put the cards away. Let's
No,
get."
you can put the cards away.
Why even bring it up?
You can put the cards away.
Yeah. Well, what made him?
I don't know. I don't have any lead into that.
The Gambino family made a very generous donation.
Listen, the next clips we're gonna transition to a time much later. I know age comes for all of us. It's gonna happen to you and me.
It's happening.
But like I said, these two guys did this telethon way past the time they should have.
Is this Ed?
It's both of them.
I can't believe Ed did it that long. I never knew that.
But let's just start. Someone said you have to look at the final couple they did. Really go in, and so I really dug deep through these. I wish
he's doing it in the 2000s. That's mind blowing.
If someone sent me all 1,200 hours of the 2007 telethon, I'm sitting through it because this is just the shit I could find. So here's a. This is a Jerry. He has to. He comes out. He intros, and he has to throw it to the opening credits.
Okay.
We hope you enjoy yourselves, and I thank you all for coming. And what do I do now? What? Oh, yes, that's it. Oh, for God's sakes, I'm sorry. Please watch this. I didn't know that, for crying out loud. Well, what the hell?
Seeing that, it rings I'm like, oh, I kind of remember seeing him like this.
Yeah,
then.
well, these were popular because every year he did something that warranted a news story. He said something,
True.
He did something.
That's true.
This one I have for you is audio only, but it's important because I want you to pay attention. Jerry's going to throw it to Ed, and you need to pay attention to who Ed introduces. It's important.
Thanks to Acosta. They're there every year, and they've been terrific. Go ahead, Ed.
Please welcome the national chairman of the Muscular Dystrophy Association, Mr., well, you know him, Jerry Lewis.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute.
No, I think you might.
Wait, see if I can straighten it out. That's what they told me. I already met you. All right.
Try it again, Ed.
It's a little pickled there, maybe.
Here's another. This is a clip.
Holy
pay
shit!
Close attention to who Ed thanks after Jerry throws the camera to him.
Okay.
Here, Johnny, is America's #1 firefighter, the General President, Harold Scheitberger, with a sample.
Did you hear him? Listen one more time.
Here, Johnny, is America's #1 firefighter, the General President,
Here,
Harold
Johnny,
Scheitberger, with a
as
sample.
if he's talking.
Do it again.
To Johnny Carson.
Do it again.
Here, Johnny, is America's #1 firefighter, the General President, Harold Scheitberger, with a sample.
Johnny's probably dead at that point.
Most likely.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Much like I just had that important. This is even important. It's audio only again, so you can really pay attention because it's something Jerry instills in the telethon that I think is really worth adhering to and taking to heart in your everyday life. Pay close attention to the advice he gives here.
And I get everything I need from them when I leave to go to do. And they support me in everything I do. Okay, please watch this video. It could be considered an important stolen in the reputable men.
Please welcome to the telethon, Adele Manzim.
Yeah, right.
And I get to do. Okay, please watch this video. It could be considered an important stolen in the reputable men.
I love you can hear a few scattered laughs.
Dude,
like,
the greatest part of all these clips is the baffled audience. They're baffled. They don't know if they should be laughing, if they should be silent, if he is having a medical emergency. They don't know.
Were they? These people are not sitting there the whole weekend. Are they
No,
cycling in
They would
crowds
cycle in and
or?
out. Yeah.
Okay, Jesus Christ.
So this year, the last couple years of Telethon were, I believe, filmed at and sponsored by South Point Resort and Casino. And as you would expect from a corporate sponsor like that, they put the name of their casino really big on the tally board, which you can imagine Jerry wasn't too happy about.
There you go. I'd give anything to see the number up there, but South Point put their goddamn advertisement under it. Hello?
What did he forget he was in front of people there? Hello. I gotta see it again. This is one of my favorite clips of Jerry we've ever found.
There you go. I'd give anything to see the number up there, but South Point put their goddamn advertisement under it. Hello?
He's the best, man. He really is the best.
So he's really good at doing goddamn.
Yeah.
Like the way he sells that. Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Here's a moment where I don't think the audience knows how to react. Jerry thanks a donor who had sent in a pre-recorded video message.
Oh, man.
We have a message for you that has been pre-recorded because they didn't want to come here. That's what a pre-recorded tape is. They didn't want to come here. So they make the tape and send it. I appreciate they're doing it, but I hate them for not coming.
You know, here's another thing, too. He's doing that. He's trying to do the funny prick routine. I don't think he was ever that good at it, but he liked doing it. So he kept doing it.
Something changed in these later years, though, and I don't know if it was they stopped rehearsing them as much, or or maybe even just the audience changed, the people changed, because they do not know how to react to any of this stuff. Here's another example of that.
Am I going to introduce Norm? Okay, all right. What's with the vicious answer?
Well, get on with it, Jerry. Get on with it.
Oh, all of a sudden you found your voice. Okay. I can't fool with him because he studied with Hitler Youth.
Look, it's totally what he think about what he came up with. The roasts.
Yeah.
Everyone ball busted drunk.
If you're in that audience at a Jerry Lewis telethon in 2007, you have to have some familiarity with how he works, the era he came up in.
You'd think so.
Why are they're like giving him?
I'm telling you, it's that thing where everyone got soft.
I suppose.
Where it's like, dude, like I don't know. I watched this one thing. It might have been a Dean Martin roast. Actually, I think it might have been a Fry. I don't know what it was. It was a roast of fucking God. Who was it? I don't know, but it was Henny Youngman, and he's doing his Henny Youngman routine, and he's getting slammed by the dais, like because he does the same jokes over and over, and it's hilarious. And I'm like, these guys, that's all they did was give each other shit.
Well, also, a lot of people, you know, in our parents' generation, they watch those roasts, and they're like, that's how a roast used to be. It was good, clean, family entertainment fun. And you can hear the stories. The roasts that happened at the Friars Club that weren't televised were behind.
They were not good, clean family fun.
They were filthy. And I've heard on
filthy,
I always heard on Gilbert's podcast where they would you would sit there and try to jot the jokes down so you could remember them and tell people, because it was like once that you were never, it was never again. You weren't. It was in that moment you were witnessing that.
That's one of those things where I don't know if me and you ever talked about this, but you know the whole aristocrats thing.
Yeah,
I think I heard someone else bring this up on something. It's like that joke was never told. Like no one ever did that. I think it was more the idea of be as filthy as possible and escalate something.
Right.
Like no one ever did like that wasn't like how that movie is set up. How it's like this legendary thing. I think it's total bullshit.
No, I disagree. I think that, and actually
it happened once or twice maybe. Come on, there's no shelf life to that.
Do you know that
he's doing the aristocrats?
Johnny was going to be in that. They were getting up. He was going to be
movie?
He was going to be interviewed, and he died as they were lining up the interview.
That
But he
sucks.
was apparently Johnny loved filthy shit like that, and
of course he did.
He always kind of regretted that he got sort of had this image as the clean, but like apparently he was just a regular kind of guy with a dirty sense of humor, and
of course
the Tonight Show didn't really give him that. But
no, I think it comes through, man. He the best thing about Johnny is he has that. He seems squeaky clean, but he's so obviously like sleazy.
Squeeze her stomach and her.
Covered everything now.
They certainly have. That's by the Mego Company. That was originally called Deep Barbie.
You can read up the discourse about it, but Henry Bushkin's book on Johnny Carson, it's a great read. And the night he meets Johnny Carson, they're going over to an apartment that his wife might be having an affair at. And Henry is introduced to Johnny as a lawyer. Come with us, you'll be the lawyer to make sure. And Johnny has a gun with him that night. And that's how Henry Bushkin met Carson. That book is fascinating. I recommend anyone, if you'd like to know more about Johnny.
What's the title?
It's just called, I think, Johnny or Johnny Carson.
Okay, I have heard of it.
It's there have been some people argued that maybe he wasn't quite in that inner circle, but other people said no, he was. There's such a heartbreaking moment at the end of that book where they got into a, much like Johnny's relationship with so many people, it boiled down to a fucking explosive end, and that was it.
Kiss off. Yeah.
Never talked again. And one day, Bushkin's phone rang. And he picked it up, and it was Johnny. And he thought like, oh well, maybe we will. Maybe Johnny was just like, oh yeah, how you been? They had a little talk. He was like, oh, maybe we'll go back to being normal. And then weeks went by and no more phone calls. And he then realized that Johnny had memory dialed him.
Oh Jesus!
And was just as surprised to hey
Henry,
how's everything going?
Well, it's semi-related. You had to have heard Billy West on Stern doing.
Yeah,
how fuck.
It's one of the best. It's one of the greatest.
It's one of the funniest things ever.
Yeah,
man.
Go look that up, anyone, if you've never heard it.
That, and I think it's Billy West doing Ed McMahon too,
That's
right?
Probably, I think. But the one where he's like, my neighbors, they hear me call you call me a load. You said I look like Ray Walston from My Favorite Martian. That's never funny. It's hilarious. Billy West does the best.
He's the best.
All right, here. Not only does South Point have their name on the tally board, they also have to interrupt occasionally to do a little commercial for the casino.
Now, see, this shit I can understand people finding distasteful, but they're given the money, and you gotta fill airtime.
From Michael Gahn and all of us at the South Point.
Thank you. Be sure to come and interrupt again, sweetheart. Anytime you want to step right in there, just go right ahead.
After that happens, this is not only this is past his prime, Ed. I don't know if he's expecting. I think he thinks that Jerry's going to have something here, but he's not giving Jerry anything to work with.
Ed's not giving Jerry anything.
No.
Okay.
Here we go.
Jerry, over here.
Now you what?
No, wait a minute. Did somebody interrupt you a little moment ago?
Yeah.
Well, why was that?
Well, because... Why?
It confused me. I didn't know. I thought you were still talking, and then they come up and did this whole thing about the South Point Resort and Spa, and I didn't know if you were interrupted or not. We've got to stop that.
Did you study in North Carolina? Okay.
What is that in reference to? Jerry is so bad with the non sequitur. He's awful at it.
There's so many times
he's referencing something that
North Carolina.
He knows what he's referencing.
And there are probably going to be people that call us morons in the comments, but I'm sorry. I don't know if there's some connotation there with that. What's the...
I could maybe at the time, if you could look at the year, maybe something happened in North Carolina.
But in his defense, Ed's giving him
what
nothing.
You
were interrupted. Don't. What was that? You don't let that happen again. It was.
And it looks even bad because he's doing like a Joe Biden-esque shuffle over, and he's just saying, "I'm confused," and it's like, "Oh no," because he might just be confused. Oh no!
This keeps happening throughout the telethon, and here's another such example.
No.
Won
Jerry,
an Emmy for her role.
Jerry.
Yeah.
You can't have Jan finish like that, and then you're, kind of daydreaming. When she finishes, you're going to start right away.
Oh, really? When did you become such a maven?
Well, you told me how to do it, and I just did it.
Did what?
Whatever I did, I did.
Well, good luck.
Good luck to you. If I see you again, have a, wonderful life.
I appreciate it. What is this, Ramadan?
It just raises so many more questions.
The guy, I mean, that's great. Great button on that one. But the guy behind Ed is stone-faced, dude. The guy in the audience. Look at him.
Oh, really? When did you become such a maven?
Well, you told me how to do it, and I just did it.
Did what?
Whatever I did, I did.
Well, good luck.
He has nothing.
I don't know. Whatever I did is pretty funny.
It's a national television broadcast, and he interrupts him with nothing.
Because of Ramadan. Like, what?
Who plays Elliot? What the hell's Elliot's last name? Elliot, he plays, with their straightforward and wonderful. Otherwise, no, go back. I want you to know that I have... Huh?
I said, just a minute. I don't know his last name either.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Well, look how disturbed I am.
Well, I'm glad you shared that with us.
Sure, it's my favorite show, too, just by the way.
I think we definitely have to call a home.
Dude, Ed is great. Come on. He's putting it on.
I guess.
The way he puts his head down there.
But Yes, you could see that with the time zone thing. He liked confusing him, but it's just he starts talking when the mic isn't on, and you can hear them.
I think he's playing into the "I'm a dumb old man, I'm losing it" thing. I don't know. It certainly seems like it
could be, but...
unless he is literally like when they go senile, it's like, I'm sad because I got confused.
All right, watch this clip and pay close attention to what happens to Ed's mouth.
But I've decided this coming year, starting in January, I'm going to do one telethon a month. Because we have such fun doing it. Are you up for that, Ed?
Doesn't even put the mic up.
Separately,
let me explain something to you.
Could you hurry it up? I got to shave again.
Wait a minute. Now, you've been in movies, you've been in television and everything. See, I can't talk to you unless I have my microphone. And every once in a while, my right arm gets tired, and I put it in the sleeve locks, and then I don't know what happened.
Thanks for sharing that.
This little box.
Let's go to the replay, shall we?
Does a tooth fall out of his head? Dude, what is that? Is that a mint or a fucking tooth?
I couldn't, dude. I've watched it so many times. I can't.
Can you give it to me with sound?
And I put it in the sleeve locks, and then I don't know what happened.
Oh, wow.
Thanks for sharing that.
Wow, dude.
Is that a tooth or is it a mint? It looks like a tooth.
It looks like a tooth is coming out of his fucking head.
Ed was decomposing on television.
Oh, man, that is brutal. I hope we get to a point, like 60 years from now, where it can be me and you, and appendages are falling off of us while we talk about fucking, I don't know, some Jim Carrey slop.
Oh, man.
I like the Sonic. I didn't like the Sonic film, actually. As my nose comes off my head.
It's like Dan Aykroyd in Nothing But Trouble.
Dude, I mean, it comes bouncing out of his mouth.
I'm watching it. I'm like, it's too, like, toothy to be a mint. Like, it doesn't look like...
It looks
and like,
toothy. And it could be like a denture tooth.
That just... And he knows it fell out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's not... He does not notice it. Holy shit, dude.
All right, well, I think we're done making fun of old Ed. Let's get back to Jerry being an asshole. Here's Jerry is talking when the sound cue for the donations cuts off his speech.
Oh, great.
Lee, next time you get a cue to play, ask me first, okay? You have to understand something. I've got people in the booth that have only done this 30 years. So we have to understand that they screw up every once in a while. Okay? Thank you, Lee. I appreciate that very much.
The best his back is to the camera.
Yeah.
Like, you never do that. Like, so you know he's like, I don't give a shit. He's got his back.
That's his attitude through all these later telethons.
Oh,
he's just like, I don't know if they weren't rehearsing. They probably cut the budget, and he was probably just... They were really trying to shove him out. And I think there was only so much they could do. They're putting advertisements on the thing. The set was dropped down. It seemed like no one rehearsed.
I know I've asked you this before. They are not doing these anymore?
No, actually, I was reading up on this earlier, and I found this little... The MDA revised the National Telethon concept on October 24th, 2020, and again in 2021, with a new social media-based telethon, the MDA Kevin Hart Kids Telethon.
Whatever. I guess, the mission continues.
Wait. Do you hear that? It's Jerry rolling in his grave.
Maybe.
Who is that over there? Young Sammy Davis Jr. doing the telethon now?
Yeah, right.
All right, here's another, again, something, it was just not planned or rehearsed.
I want to talk about a remarkable...
Wait 1 minute. Wait until I introduce you. What the hell is she doing out there now?
Again, it's airing on television.
Dude, I'm telling you, I think I haven't seen obviously all like who has, but
Yeah.
maybe someone has.
If anyone has it, please mail us the copies because I need to see all of this.
I think he liked leaning into the mess ups
I agree.
happening, whether they did or
I agree,
didn't.
but at this point in time, it's beyond just like there was something was lost in translation in these later telethons.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
Speaking of lost in translation, for whatever reason, someone had the bright idea that to open the telethon, it should be a Japanese dance group should open the and then introduce
naturally
Jerry.
his great affection for the people.
He's such
of
a big
Japan.
fan, and so this is right after that dance number when they intro Jerry.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Matsuwase.
Oh.
There is nobody at Benihana tonight. That's 29 Japanese people that came here in a Ford Escort.
How funny!
Beyond
how
hack.
funny would it be if he just went on for like 20 minutes and like oh my god, he like it should, I was going to say, can anyone take a photo tonight? And thankfully, I realized we have some Japanese tour. Like it's just he just keeps going.
But okay, the Benihana joke, whatever, hack. But it's a Japanese restaurant. The packing people in a car joke, that's not a Japanese joke. That's more like Mexican or something.
I think Jerry just had like racial blindness. They all blurred together as some.
Yep.
You're not.
I think
if you're not in a wheelchair or Jewish, I don't. I blend you all together. I blocked them out.
I think you're right.
All right. Here's another. Another great fucking communicated moment here on the show.
You know, what is this, a famine going on? I want you to take a look at this, folks. Someone in the booth, hear me? Take a look at what we carry on. You want to see 300 Polish dentists? Huh? They have no talent.
I should cut that in the end of our intros. It's just
They have no
They have
talent.
no talent.
You have to
That's
use
that's a
definitely
fixture,
a
right?
drop.
Is that a fixture?
Oh, that's a drop
in the
for
Sidetracks
sure.
from here on out.
100%.
But once again, what a famine, 300 Polish dentists. He's just throwing everything out there.
It's stage crew clearing the set.
Right. What is the famine? What does that mean?
Nothing. And also, they have no talent. They're not talent. They're not there to be talent, Jared.
Dismissive. Here's another fun little blip.
You've heard them cook. That's wonderful. I was just going to introduce my band. Get the damn curtain open, for Christ's sakes.
This clip needs no introduction.
Look how good he moves that camera. Be a son of a gun. Wherever I go, he goes. Let's see what you do with this over here. Oh, your family has come to see you. You remember Bart, your older son? Jesse, the illiterate faggot? No.
No.
It took me years to understand what he's doing there. He's talking to the
Please
other.
tell me.
He's talking to the other cameras like they're the main camera's family. Like, oh, your family has come to see you here.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry. There is no way that that if he was like legitimately just like I'm gonna go out there and just like that he would let that slip out.
Can you do it again? Because I want to see the audience. I'm sure
their reaction is so confused.
Yeah, right.
You remember Bart, your older son? Jesse, the illiterate faggot? No.
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 No. He's got to lead into it too with illiterate. It's not
yeah, right. Like that's what I'm saying. He's so odd with his off the cuff humor.
Yeah.
It's so like idiotic.
Yeah.
Like it almost works. And you know what it is? It probably worked for him so many times in the past.
Absolutely.
That the well is just dry now.
Absolutely.
And like because like you said, like it
so
that's an all time.
Much like Jerry saying, no, put the cards away, I want to get serious for a minute.
Uh-oh.
No, no. So I guess in 2008, all this
Get serious, Joe.
All your tooth just falls out. They tried to. I think they were using the economic downturn and all this shit that had happened around the world. I think they were using that to try to get him to step down. Apparently, they told him that no one was going to donate. He was going to embarrass himself by doing it this year. So here's Jerry addressing that.
Everyone has been affected, yours truly and everyone else that's here. And they said, maybe you don't want to do this show because the downturn is so bad. Why embarrass yourself? I said, because in spite of that, I went through Katrina like it was a drizzle and helped my kids. And every hurricane, and every drought, and every Haitian situation and tsunamis, we did it through it all.
The Japanese character came through there a little bit. Tsunami.
I just love the idea that Jerry's in New Orleans. He's in Haiti in the earthquake. Like he's at these disasters.
I'm omnipresent, like Lord in heaven. I've experienced it all. I've seen it all. And just because you're in a wheelchair doesn't mean you get special treatment during a natural disaster. You are expected to get in line with everyone else.
Oh man.
But
like you can kind of see what he's saying is that it's like you just keep going no matter what.
Well, so this is
the way he says it.
That's ridiculous. But this is the follow up to that. This is like where I'm like, okay, I see, I like and appreciate Jerry because of this transparency, and just like you don't see this anymore. You don't see a celebrity really become human in a moment like this, and it is refreshing to see that. We've been doing this now for 3 episodes. This is the other side of that, though, where he's not just being antagonistic and speaking his mind. He's being genuine, and again, it's something I don't think you see today.
That we shouldn't have 20 million on that number, maybe 40, maybe nothing. With this downturn, if I listened to everyone that talked to me, I'd have been home tonight. I will be here as long as I breathe because I believe so strongly that children are entitled to that dedication.
And then they booted his ass out.
Really? And I believe him, though.
They did. It's very unclear exactly what went down, but in 2010, they announced he was stepping down, and then he put out a separate statement that said, I'm not in agreement with that. And then, they had, at a sense, it was just, all this shit, I think they were really just trying to push him out on his own, and he wasn't going to do it. And he says right there, I will be here until, and
it's wild. Like I said, it's that scaling up thing. It's like the idea, like how many times have you seen it? Like a guy gets kicked off the show he started or the movie he started.
For sure.
Like, it's fucking wild that can happen, man.
I was treated worse than Roseanne Barr in a lot of ways because her sitcom was only on 10 years. A light note, though. Here's Jerry. We'll end with a somewhat of a optimistic turn. This is Jerry coming into the crowd to talk to one of his kids.
Yeah? How come you... Are you eating a ham sandwich? Ham and you're talking to me? What? Are you nuts? That's the quickest way to lose a Jewish friend, don't you know that? Well, I'll come back to you later when you're through eating. Be sure she has something to drink. I love you too, drunken broad.
She was talking better than Ed.
Yeah, nothing fell out of her head.
Yeah,
maybe a piece of ham sandwich. But see, like that's what I say. It's like there's something to be like. I really respect him though, where it's like it's very easy to have someone like that. Like she's very disabled there. And like, you're so special. But instead, he calls her a drunken broad.
He treats her like a regular person, which
because
I think,
she is.
And
that's his. Like, I cannot agree with that more.
I agree the same way. And again, we've been doing this now for 3 episodes. I said I don't know if I said it on mic or privately. I said this is our Star Wars. It started. I think the second one's always going to be our best. It's Empire, but this is the return of the Jerry because it's just. My opinion of the man went from, Ryan, please, you could, and some of our patrons, I've been obsessed with him. I'm talking
really
about
have
him.
been.
I'm talking like him. I'm quoting him. I put his quotes into the soundboard because I'm just like, I'm enamored with him because you just don't see that today. You don't see a guy, love him, hate him, right or wrong, that just doesn't give a shit and speaks from the heart without worrying about the repercussions. And I don't mean that in a weird like, oh, these people don't know.
But even if it's not funny or it doesn't always work, it's genuine.
Yeah.
In a performer's way.
Yeah. And I've heard stories again from he was an asshole to crew and certain people he met, but there's something. He seemed to have a very high bullshit radar, and we've seen it. We've watched it come up on these episodes. He believed that when he was on and doing the movies and going to the premieres, that was it. He'll be the person you want him to be. But if you approached him outside of that, it seems like you were more often than not going to get a guy who was just like, you are imposing on my, hold on.
You are now imposing on my life.
Yeah, I heard that about 15 times this weekend.
There's going to have to be a prequel trilogy. I don't think we're done. This is just what I was able to dig up in the time. But like, I will never, here's Jerry at the end. I will be here until the day that I die, as long as there are Jerry Lewis clips to get to.
Yes, I agree. And now we have the president of the firefighter, Captain
Jerry, firefighter.
Okay, Johnny.
Now, the time when he, I'll never find it. The time when he was drunk on the Tonight Show.
I just saw that like last week. Yeah,
that's great.
Do you need to take a little nap, Ed?
You really think you're fooling us, don't you?
Some of the animals you had as babies are now 10 years old.
That would be about right.
Remember the animals that did something funny on your tie?
Yes.
Those little lions and little baby lions were 1 year old.
That's right.
They are now treacherous and ferocious 10-year-old animals.
And you really think you're fooling everybody, don't you?
No.
Johnny did the masterful look to the camera. He was so skilled at that.
So good at it.
Just that you saw. And Jerry could do the same thing, but yeah.
American Masters. That was the PBS special.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out. And
it's really good.
I think we should check out that documentary on him because
I'll watch it.
I'm really curious to know more about him, and I've been watching some of his movies, and yeah, I've really turned on the man.
I agree in a good way.
It's been fun. Yeah. So we will return with more Jerry. I think we're going to take a break. We have a lot of exciting stuff to get to that I wanted to put this series to bed. But thank you if you found us through this series, thank you for tagging along and checking these episodes out. Again, we're not trying to be historical here. We're just trying to watch some clips and enjoy them.
Indeed.
But yeah, we're on Patreon, patreon.com/almostcultclassics. We got one of our patrons did a great animation for one of the Jerry Lewis bits, which you can find exclusively there, and some other bonus videos, bonus content. $5 a month. You get a lot of great content there, so please consider.
And that number should be even higher if the goddamn Patreon advertisement wasn't that. No.
Did you see some of the clips? The text says, consider putting MDA in your will, or remember MDA in your will. Like, he was really. I think
any it all counts, man.
I think we should leave our listeners with a little song.
Once more we're alone together.
I think we definitely have to call a home. And tsunamis.
Things have happened since last I saw you. Just like a...
Here Johnny is America's #1 firefighter, the general president.
What?
Your tender and gentle nature.
A hostile attack on someone else disabled.
Faggot. No.
Haven't they been left with half?
And I put it in this little box, and then I don't know what happened.
It's scary.
on Star Search.
Try Star Search. They have no talent.